All right, good Monday morning, everybody. We are live talking about the weather for today. In the next several days, we have big changes on the way. Today, a cold front will move through, and that'll help gust winds up to 45 miles an hour. So tonight and through tomorrow, winds will be very windy. That'll also increase the fire threat, which we'll talk about in detail in just a bit. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. We'll be live for the next 20 minutes or so here on KENS 5. Outside right now, skies are beginning to clear. We had a wet morning. Some areas on the north side of Bexar County picked up over an inch to even 2 inches of rain between Stone Oak near the JW Marriott, northeast side of San Antonio. Saw some pretty good rainfall earlier this morning. Now skies are clearing. You can see at Morgan's Wonderland Camp some blue in the sky at the moment. Otherwise, mostly cloudy elsewhere you go. By, let's say, 1 or 2 o'clock, we'll see a cold front move through, and that'll clear out the skies and lead to a windy rest of the day. But it was a productive morning. We saw some good rainfall across the area between midnight and about 9 a.m. or so. Heaviest rain was, again, on the north side of our viewing area, anywhere from, let's say, Kendall County towards northern Bexar County, and parts of, let's say, Guadalupe and Comal County. You can see between, let's say, Stone Oak and Bulverde Road, north of the JW Marriott, there was a few pockets of rain that did pick up to 2 inches of rain, 1.5 inches to about 2 inches of rain, just west of I-35 and between there and 281 in Bulverde. Fair Oaks Ranch, a little more than a half an inch of rainfall from earlier this morning. Kerrville, about a quarter, if not less than that, on the north side of Kerr County. Bandera and the west side of San Antonio, you can see between a quarter to a half an inch of rain. So again, drought's still a big thing. We're still underneath severe to extreme drought, especially around the San Antonio area. So rainfall is much needed, and it is beneficial, and we have more rain in the forecast, but not until next week. We'll talk about that coming up. Priority right now is the winds that'll gust near 45 miles an hour later on today. Now, we have red flag warnings, not included Bexar County, but anywhere west of I-35 towards Uvalde, Del Rio, Eagle Pass, Valverde County, Maverick County, everyone for the most part west of San Antonio is underneath a red flag warning, meaning a combination of gusty winds near 40 to 45 miles an hour. Tonight, very dry air, drought, it's all a bad combo for fire weather. Any fires, any embers that get going, that spark off during the day and during the night, these winds will carry those embers and lead to dangerous fire danger. So we're expecting elevated fire weather concerns today and likely through tomorrow as well. This red flag warning is in effect for today with wind advisories in effect for the entire region and probably the entire state. You can see as I zoom out, the entire state of Texas between San Antonio, Dallas, Houston, towards the Panhandle. Wind advisories, meaning winds will be on the range of, at times, 35 to 50 miles an hour. And again, with the drought in place, it's going to create an elevated fire threat. So avoid any type of outdoor burning. It's the wintertime. A lot of folks like to, burn at night, in the morning. Please, if you can, avoid any of that. If not, be very careful because these embers can travel very quickly. They jump from spot to spot. Avoid driving over tall grass. Sometimes the friction can cause fires to spark off very quickly. So again, strong winds and dry air may contribute to extreme fire behavior if fires get going. And with this kind of weather pattern in place, it's not conducive to that kind of environment. It's very dangerous when it comes to fire weather. With gusty wind and dry air, low humidity values, it's going to create a bad setup. Outside right now, mostly cloudy, 68 at the airport. We are seeing winds from the south at 6 miles an hour. So there's a cold front in our area. So right now we're at 68 near 70 here in San Antonio. It's very mild, a little humid, thanks to the rainfall earlier this morning. But if you look closely, you can pick out the cold front. It is moving through the hill country. Behind it, temperatures have fallen fast. I mean, Fredericksburg right now at 47, while it's about 70 here in San Antonio. 48 in Rock Springs and about 50 at Kerrville. So it's draped right over the hill country. And you can kind of see if you look closely, the wind particles right behind it. Those winds are moving again, 15 to 25 miles an hour on the northern half of the hill country. So we're going to see that move in our direction. So around lunchtime, maybe as late as 1 or 2 o'clock, it'll move through San Antonio. Drop the temperature. We'll probably hit a high of about 70 to 71 around lunchtime, and then after that, temperatures fall off very quickly. It turns chilly, it turns windy, and you'll see if you look closely at this graphic, sustained wind speeds will be on the range of 25 to 30 with gusts near 40 to 45. So it's going to be a very windy night. If you have plans outdoors tonight, bundle up. It's going to get cold fast. 60 by 6 p.m., 8 p.m. 56, and probably by the midnight hour, lower 50s to upper 40s, but the winds will make it feel a little cooler than that, of course. So that's the outlook for today, and here's a better look at the winds. Let me rewind this real quick. So the cold front moves through around lunchtime today. This is 2 p.m. this afternoon, 20 to 30 mile an hour winds. We'll fast forward to tonight through tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. early Tuesday. Northwest winds, 38 miles an hour. It's going to be very windy between tonight and tomorrow morning. And we'll maintain this trend of gusty winds probably through Tuesday afternoon before relaxing Tuesday night. So for the next 24 hours, winds will be the primary concern, as again, that elevates the fire danger. Avoid any outdoor burning. Fires will spread rapidly in this kind of environment, in this kind of setup. Here's the hour by hour. Colder air moves in tonight. By this evening, lower 50s, windy conditions, winds 30 to 40 miles an hour. Skies clear. By tomorrow morning, it will be cold. It will be above freezing, but it will be windy, so the wind chill will be a factor tomorrow morning. Bundle up. Tomorrow morning, likely lows in the lower 40s and upper 30s between the hill country and San Antonio. Maybe some middle 30s and some low-lying areas across the hill country, but that's going to be a cold start to Tuesday, so get ready for that, and very, very windy. Winds near 40 miles an hour at times. Up farther north, you can see it's very cold, a lot colder in Canada. Now, you know, it's wintertime, it's January, and this time of year, typically the polar Arctic air stays bottled up around the North Pole. But this time of year, the jet stream really changes. It fluctuates. It gets more wavy. You get these waves in the atmosphere. And when that happens, sometimes warmer air can move into the North Pole, warmer than average, and that'll result in a plunge southward from the colder air from the North Pole. And that's what we're expecting 7 to 8 days from now. So between now and Friday, it's quiet. Lows in the 30s and 40s, highs in the 60s and near 70. Pretty quiet for the rest of the week. Even this weekend, it'll be pretty mild. If you have plans outdoors Saturday and Sunday, it'll be sunny. It'll be cold in the morning and nice in the afternoon. But next Monday, next Tuesday, this lobe of what we call the polar vortex will branch off mainly across central Canada. But when it drifts this far south, especially in the wintertime, this can send us waves of very dry, cold, polar Arctic air. So notice this weekend, it gets cooler, highs in the 50s, lows in the 30s. This is Saturday afternoon, and you'll see, if you look closely to the Dakotas, by this weekend, it is brutally cold. From the Midwest, from Chicago to the Rocky Mountains, they're looking at air temperatures, -5, -15, wind chills below that, and then watch what happens to Texas this time next week. Next Monday, next Tuesday, it moves towards us. And right now, the long-range models are suggesting lows in San Antonio next Monday night and early Tuesday morning in the lower 20s and upper teens. So this would be our first Arctic cold front of the season. We've seen plenty of cold fronts, but of course, temperatures rebound fast. But by this time next week, an Arctic cold front will move through Texas, and then I'll drop highs really, really bad into the 20s, and then likely highs in the 30s and 40s, depending on the exact setup. So we have a lot to break down, and again, that's 7 to 8 days from now. In the meantime, a very quiet weather flow here in San Antonio. Good morning, David in Guadalupe. Thank you. You're back at work. Perfect. You're ready to expect cooler weather's on the way. So especially tomorrow, it's going to be a jacket kind of day. It'll be sunny. It'll be clear. But the morning temperature tomorrow in the 30s and highs in the 50s. So it's going to be a pretty cool day tomorrow for Tuesday. Brown Beeville, probably not. I would say for the rest of the day and for the rest of the week, it's dry. San Antonio, Beeville, anywhere across South Texas, it'll be dry for the rest of the week. And mornings will be chilly, and the highs will be nice and comfortable between the 50s and 70s, depending on which day, because we have another cold front that'll move through Friday, and that'll reinforce a cooler pattern Friday afternoon and Saturday, and also for Sunday as well. But the Arctic air remains reserved for early next week, next Monday night and next Tuesday. So we have a lot of changes in the forecast, and that does come with a couple cold fronts and a stronger front by next week. But that's the forecast, guys. We'll leave it on the 7-day a little longer. That's the 7-day. Tomorrow's 59. Tomorrow morning will be cold in the upper 30s and even some middle 30s across the hill country. And then near 70 by Wednesday and Thursday, cooler on Friday. And then again, the Arctic air arrives this time next week, next Monday and Tuesday. Will there be any snow with this next Arctic air? Based on what we're seeing right now, no. But across the northern half of Texas, towards Lubbock, North Texas, the Panhandle, they'll likely see a wave of snow move in that direction. There is some suggestion from our long-range models that there may be some rain associated with the next front that moves the next week, but it's back and forth. So right now we don't have an exact details on the precip that moves in. We know it's going to get a lot colder next week, likely lows in the 20s and highs in the 40s and even 30s in some areas. But exact rainfall amounts, exact timing on rain, that'll be probably by this Wednesday, this Thursday, we'll get better data in and we'll add it to the forecast. So right now, no snow. If you're watching from Lubbock, the North Texas area, probably so. But here in the San Antonio area, the hill country, it's just going to get cold late next week, and even mornings this week will be cold as well. So, yeah, February, the coolest month of the year. Yeah, so February and January historically are the coldest times of year. It's the bulk and middle of winter. And it's not until March where we really rebound in temperatures. 2021, yeah, it was a bad year. That was the winter storm that brought in waves of snow. That huge winter storm that moved through Texas. Of course, we all remember that. Yeah, that was a lot of snowfall. That was 1, 2, 3 waves of snow, freezing rain, and widespread across the area. And while we do like winter weather every now and then, when you introduce rain to it, freezing rain, slick roadways, icy bridges, it's not a good setup. So we don't like that, especially for a long amount of time. But yeah, this week will be pretty quiet. Cold mornings and nice afternoons, guys. And again, not until next Monday, next Tuesday is when the Arctic air arrives, moving into Texas at that time, 7 to 8 to 9 days out from now. So that's a 7-day forecast, guys. We'll leave it on here for a little longer. Have a wonderful rest of your Monday and rest of your week. Tune into KENS 5 News at noon for the latest on local news, weather, and everything you need to know around San Antonio and Texas. Have a wonderful day, guys, and be safe.